Hello people, welcome back to yet another video. Let's talk about, well, football in general. So first of all, congratulations to all the English fans out there. It was quite the game tonight, quite the nerve-wracking, especially the penalties, something that people that are not biased in the game love, and those who are involved in the game hate so much, especially if you're English. So again, congratulations, one hell of a game. It's been a while since I made my last video. Um, I was really busy. As I said before in my first video, I work in the sports industry, let's put it this way. Specialized in American sports, and as you know, April, May, June is when you have your playoffs in NBA, NHL, so we were quite busy. I was quite busy actually. Uh, the baseball league also in motion, so yeah, I didn't have really much time to do many videos. I actually checked when I recorded my last video, so it was after the Bayern Munich game, and the last English Premier League game was the Aston Villa. And in that video, basically what I said is, I believe I said something like, we're basically done, we just lost the title, which unfortunately happened. But I also said, we just have to go and have a strong end of the season, right? Do our job. It's not end until it's end. It's not finished until it's finished. So we just had to push City to the last day of the season, and we did exactly that. And to be fair, I was quite happy with that. Of course, didn't win the title, but we were really good. I liked what I've seen. We didn't crumble. People keep saying bottled it. I don't understand how you can bottle it when basically City had to win their game. If they would draw the game, we would win the title, right? So I don't understand, but again, maybe a matter of opinions. Again, I said I want to go and have a strong end of the season. We did exactly that. I wished for us to get results or good results. You know, we had to play Chelsea at home. We had to go to Spurs and to Old Trafford to play United. Both very tough grounds for us. And boy, oh boy, we did well. Now the Spurs game, we made it harder than it should have been. When you're 3-0 up, all being Spurs played well in that first half, just everything went against them. But when you're 3-0 up in that derby, you don't do stupid mistakes to allow the opposition back. So the game was good. One stupid mistake, they came back into the game, but overall it was a very good game. The game at Old Trafford, again, nobody expects us to go there and have an easy game. It was a tough game for both teams. We ended up winning it, which was the most important part. End of the season, they don't ask how, they ask how may. And the Chelsea game, I think that was probably the pinnacle of the last season. That spanking that we gave them was one hell of a spanking. We owned them to that, and I enjoyed that game. It's probably my favorite game in the last, I don't know, probably 5-6 years, if not more. Yes, I understand that Palmer didn't play. Um, could could have been a different game, but coulda, shoulda, woulda. So yeah, that's just a short view of what happened at the end of the season. As I said, the Champions League games, I made videos on those, not very good games. Anyway, so the next thing is why I'm not making any trade videos. Well, simply because I really don't have much time for that, and there are bigger channels. Well, my channel is not even a channel yet, but yeah, there's so many big channels out there. Guys from England, you can obviously the big boys AFTV, and sort of they make videos every day. They have way more information. They're professionals. At this point, they're probably better even than some of the journalists out there. So there's no point making video of something that probably 100 other people will do. And to be fair, last couple of days you check something and it's basically the same news on the same channel, and you open and there's no update. They basically post something like imminent, happening, will happen soon, and it's basically the same thing over and over and over again, like this Calafiori transfer. Every single day there's a new video from some journalists, and you open it, it's basically the same information. So there is no point for me to do the same thing, right? So, as I said, I'm not really good at it, so there's no point of doing it. Maybe next season I'll try it, but for now I'll just pass on that one. And the last thing is probably the main point of this video, why I wanted to make this video, what made me record this video, is Bukayo Saka's hate. And the reason I made this video tonight is simply because of his performance tonight. Now, I really don't understand, and I asked a lot of times this question to people from England, to different fans from England, why people hate Saka. I really don't understand. He's probably one of the most humble players I've seen, probably in the last 30 years. Ultimate professional, very nice guy, never speaks shit, trash about others, you know, well behaved, hardworking, really talented footballer. And the guy gets so much hate. I really don't understand why. I really don't understand. From opposition fans, there are some channels, I don't know, pages, how do you call them, in Facebook, that obviously not Arsenal fan pages, but different teams. Not gonna call them out, but just the hate this guy gets is absolutely unbelievable. But even if you forget about the, let's put the Facebook army, right? Some of the big boys of content creation, football content creation in YouTube were very disappointed for me. I was very disappointed in them because we're talking about people that I really respect. I am subscribed to their channels, but basically they're happy. They say they're England fans, right? All, I'm not sure how much, but they celebrate. But they didn't say a single word about Saka's performance, which was funny. If it was, for example, someone like Palmer would do what Saka did tonight, I would probably hear them here in Bulgaria screaming from England. So if you're going to hate on the guy, if you're going to call him out, if you're going to criticize him every single game, even though it's not his fault, right? The whole team is not performing. I think everybody can see that. You have players like Foden, you have players like Bellingham, you have players like Harry Kane. None of them were good. Yeah, Bellingham was good in the first game, and that's about it, right? So obviously the problem is in the system, the problem is in the team itself. Everybody can see that. So if you're going to criticize the guy, give him the props when he does what he did tonight. And again, this is something that most Arsenal fans were saying. I don't know if people are expecting Saka to do what Lionel Messi is doing, which is crazy, right? To just get the ball and go through the whole team and score a goal. He's not going to do that. And if you watch Arsenal, which you should if you are a content creator on English Premier League, if you watch Saka, if you watch Arsenal week in, week out, you know this is not how he plays, right? There were games when he was poor for Arsenal simply because the team didn't play to his strength. Now I'm not saying you should build the whole game of the English team around Saka. Obviously this is an international team, they have no time for that, right? But you have to utilize him. So I don't understand how people can watch those games and basically single out Saka. The criticism this guy gets is absolutely unbelievable. I'm not saying you shouldn't be criticizing the guy, but I think it was way too much. And tonight I think he shut up everybody. And at points tonight I think Saka was so pissed off that even though they doubled up on him tonight as well, he absolutely ripped apart that left defending side of Switzerland. He absolutely destroyed them. And in the end, scoring that beautiful, magnificent goal, that was the cherry on the top. That was basically F off to everybody. Now, I'm not saying about the fans, alright, so I will leave the fans outside of this, right? I understand that if you're a Chelsea fan, if you're a United fan, you potentially will not enjoy it. I understand that, no problems here. But there were some pundits again, and again I'm going back to this English media, English pundits, right? I mean, those guys should not talk, or at least they should try to think before they talk. I think you probably know who I'm talking about, right? Leave Saka out of the team, don't play him. Some were basically mocking the idea of him playing at the left back, saying that it's just Arsenal legends trying to force Saka into the team. I just want to see what those people will say right now. Now, I'm not obviously a professional footballer. I'm not a manager, right? Southgate, as much as we can criticize the guy, he's a professional manager. He knows best. He's on the training. He sees what his players can do. He decides how to play the game. But I just really don't understand how can you call out Saka for the way he plays when that's the way he plays, right? And I'm really intrigued to see what they will say tonight after what Saka showed. Like, this is basically how he plays, and this is what Saka does. So the other thing, again, the problem right now that England has, in my eyes, right? Maybe I'm wrong, but the biggest problem is people are calling for Saka to be dropped. So there's no problem here, right? If the player is not performing, drop him, play someone else. But the problem you have is who you will play there. So the first option should be Jared Bowen, right? He's the only player in that team that is specialized in that particular right side. Cole Palmer, in my eyes, is not a right winger. He's not a left winger. I believe he played more through the middle for Chelsea, at least from what I've seen. And the issue you have is you have Bellingham, who also plays through the middle, and then you have Foden, who also plays through the middle, right? So dropping Saka will not solve any issues for England. And again, we saw it tonight. Palmer came in, but he didn't play on that right side. He's not as useful as Saka there. I'm not going to compare who is a better player. They play on the different positions, right? They're both fantastic players. What I'm trying to say is Palmer is not better on the right wing than Saka. Through the middle, of course, Saka cannot play through the middle. That's where Palmer shines. So I was just reading all those comments, and that's why I didn't record videos for the English games, because I was so pissed off that I will probably say things that YouTube wouldn't appreciate. But like, you're watching those games, you have, as I said, you have Foden, Palmer and Bellingham, and apparently all three of them should play, but there's no place, right? Unless you follow Todd Bowley's advice and you go and play 4-4-3, right? So yeah, then maybe you'll have place for all of the players. And who you will drop to play all those guys, right? So we already know, even if you drop Saka, right? So you drop Saka, let's say you drop Saka, you play Palmer on the right side. But we all know that Foden cannot play it on the left side. We've seen it, it doesn't work. Bellingham for sure will not play on the left side, he plays through the middle. So what you do? You could potentially drop Bellingham just a bit deeper, which I don't think he will enjoy and he will like, to open the space for Foden to play them, to utilize all of them. But then who plays on the left side of the attack? And also what you do with your center mids, right? Who do you drop? Maino or Rice? You can't drop any of them, because Maino is phenomenal, unbelievable player, right? He's phenomenal, he's one of the English best performing players. But you cannot drop Rice as well, because Rice is the only 6 in that team. He's the only player that can play that position, is specialized in that position. That's where he thrives. And if you and he's also the most experienced out of all the English midfielders. So if you take him out, you cannot play Maino there by himself, right? So again, I'm not trying to tell how England should play, I'm just calling people to use their brains, right? Before, again, if you're going to criticize Saka, you need to have a base, right? Yes, I understand Saka didn't perform as well as you probably expect him to. But again and again, I will repeat myself, go and watch Arsenal games from the last season, and the season before that, and the season before that. Watch the games when Saka is good and when Saka is not very good, right? He's not a player, he's not Lionel Messi, nobody says he's not Cristiano Ronaldo. He's a different kind of player. If you play to his strengths, he will deliver the performances like tonight. Simple as that. The same thing with Foden, right? Even if you say like I'm Arsenal fan and I'm biased towards Saka, obviously, it's the same thing with Phil Foden. And I defended Phil Foden as much as I defended Saka, because Foden also had a lot of criticism, and I think undeservedly, because he plays out of his position. He's not a left winger. We know he's not a left winger. He's not going to deliver there. He could potentially play, but not as good as he would do through the middle. We all know that. And again, people say it's not that we hate Saka or we hate Arsenal, or sorry, not people, but a lot of those comments, but and especially the pundits, but he's not performing, he should be dropped. But they don't ask the question, especially the pundits, like, okay, so let's forget about Saka. You have player of the season in England, which is Foden, right? Playing completely, okay, let's not use bad words, but crap, right? Not performing at all, sorry. You have Jude Bellingham, the best player of La Liga last season, potential Ballon d'Or winner, and again, not performing at all. Then you have Harry Kane, who scored, I don't know, 40, 50, 100 goals in Bundesliga last season. Can't score a goal to save his life, getting out of position every single time. You have Kyle Walker, who looks like he lost, I don't know, that he lost his lungs somewhere between the end of the season and the start of the Euros in 1 month. People saying the best right back in the league. Now he is apparently the worst player in this English squad. You have Kieran Trippier, who, whether you like him or not, he's a good player, right? Let's say maybe not the best. He's a decent player. He looks completely awful at this tournament. Even Declan Rice, you can see that Declan Rice in some games he struggles. Why? Because he's there by by himself. Basically, he doesn't have a partner. When he have someone like Mino who drops a bit deeper, you can see he plays very well. Tonight, again, he was playing very well as a defensive midfielder. So many times he would come back, he would cover his defenders, because that's what he does, which allows Mino to go and attack, to do what he's best at. Help the attacking players, help carrying the ball. So yeah, a bit. Sorry for the long video, a bit of a long rant about this, but really, I really don't understand all this hate towards Saka. I really don't. I could understand if it goes against a player that pisses you off, that behaves kinda, let's put it this way, badly or controversially, like Havertz or Ben White. I would understand if a hate goes towards those kind of players. Yeah, okay, I didn't like Diego Costa when he played for Chelsea as well. But I just don't understand the hate towards Saka. So the reason, as I said at the beginning of the video, that's the reason why I made the video, because Saka tonight, I think he shut up all of them. I hope he continues this form. I hope Southgate realizes how to use this guy. How to use Foden, how to use Bellingham. Now, I'm not English fan, I'm not English, I don't cheer for England at all, to be fair. I prefer other teams to win. Nothing personal. But I just want to watch football, and this English team is full of talent, right? Especially when it comes to attacking players. Unbelievable bag of talents, and they play one of the most boring football you can imagine. There's so, I mean, you could probably say the top 5 boring teams in this tournament, England would probably lead the pack, especially given the fact how many talented players they have. So yeah, that would be for this one. Hopefully you enjoy it. Let me know what you think about. Do you agree with this? Don't you agree with this? Do you think that Saka basically got what he deserved, or you think people crossed the line a bit with him? Thanks, and up to the next one.